Hey guys, this is Brett at Barbell Therapy and Performance, Triad Training Systems. So, a piece we're going to talk about today is load management and how we use fatigue drops. Fatigue drops is a great way for the client or lifter, athlete, whatever you want to call them, to auto-regulate their own fatigue so we can better manage long-term process within a training cycle. And this is going to vary lifter to lifter because every lifter has different amounts of work capacity and such. So this is a way that we're able to really stabilize that and get the most bang for our buck with our training. So what a fatigue drop is something we use based off traditional RPE training. So RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. So what the lift felt like or looked like. So there's a ton of stuff out there from Mike Tashir, Reactive Training Systems, on RPE training. And there are a couple different scales people like to use. Typically, in simpleton's terms, is we're going to say an 8 RPE, an 8 out of 10, means we're going to stop when we have about 2 reps left in the tank, or we think we could do 2 more reps after that. We're going to stop there. There's also percentage-based charts that can go off that as well. So for a fatigue drop, the way we program this, we're going to do a top set of 5 at an 8 RPE. So say that's my RPE at an 8 for 5 reps is 100 kilograms. What we're going to do, we're going to work up, and say that's the prescribed or relative theorized load we should handle. We're going to work up to that or around there depending on what we're feeling that day. So if we're feeling really good, we've done all our homework, we've ate, slept, have good nutrition that day or the day before, and we can do more than that at an 8, then we can do more than that. But let's say we do 100 kilograms. We're only going to do 1 set there, and then what we're going to do, if we have 1 set of 5 at an 8, but a fatigue drop of 5%, what we're going to do is we're going to drop 5% of that load, so 5% off of 100 is 95 kilograms. And so what we're going to do there is we're going to do sets of 5 at 95 kilograms until that becomes an 8 again. So the lifter would drop the load. So that first set might be a 7. That second set might go up to a 7.5 or so. And the third set is an 8. So that is where we'd stop, is once that same load ends up feeling like the first set here at an 8, at a lesser load, that tells us we've fatigued about 5%, which for that day is maybe where we want to stop. Different lifters are going to fatigue differently than others. So one lifter might do 6 more sets here, or 3 more sets there, and they don't fatigue as quick, so they're going to stop when they do more sets. So sets don't really all matter that much. It's the accumulation of fatigue, or how we accumulate fatigue. So things to consider when using fatigue drops and load management is the considerations of the lifter is, do they understand RPE that well? So a lot of newer novice clients or athletes don't always understand RPE as well as someone that's been doing this for a long time. And they need to see subjective versus objective. So sometimes a lift can feel really heavy, and then you look at it on a camera or you have someone else looking at it, and it can look very different, or you go back and look at it, it might look very different. So we always want to kind of go towards the objective side of what it looks like, or how many reps we have left in the tank, and kind of think of it based on what it looks like. Another thing we want to think about is the variations we throw in here. So if this load was prescribed off of a competition lift, then if we throw a variation in there like a pause or a tempo or something like that, we're going to have to decrease a percentage. Typically with pause work and stuff like that, you're going to have to change that load by probably dropping it about 10%. If we did something higher off the floor, like a block pull or something like that, that you might actually be able to put more weight on the bar than the prescribed load. So we need to keep that in mind. And the way we typically program these is different percents ranging from 3 to 10%. So a 3% day would be considered a lower stress day. So you're not letting the lifter accumulate as much fatigue. So times like this we would do this is pretty close to meet prep. And we would be kind of in a more intensity phase where we're trying to do very heavy weight at low reps. We'll use typically the 3% or 5% range, where if we're in more of an off-season or volume block or something like that, we may program 10%, so we're forcing the lifter to accumulate more fatigue, and with that we're going to get more volume in our training because we're dropping the weight more, we're getting more reps and sets in that way. And not to say you have to do one or the other, it depends on the lifter, the time of season we're in, and a lot of other factors. But those are just some of the main things we need to consider on how we're programming the fatigue drops and what's going on with the lifter. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out, send us a comment below, and let me know how it goes, and if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.